high school. I was about 6 months after I started reading poetry. And this one I wrote today, starting at like 5 a.m. or something. And I finished it 30 minutes ago. Anyways, so the first one was about my first boyfriend. Maybe it wasn't love, because love is complete trust. Because love is complete and total emotional vulnerability. Because love is believing every fiber of your being that you can rely on them for anything. Instead, maybe it was the way you looked at me. Maybe it was the way you joked with me. Maybe it was just the codependency. Maybe it was the fact that you belittled me and convinced me that it was out of love. Lied to me time and time again when you were embarrassed by your thoughtless actions, unknowingly left me crying because you consciously refused to talk to me, means that maybe it wasn't love. You said those three infamous words first. You said them more. You said them last. You made me feel inadequate for saying them out of the blue, when I would spend hours upon hours out of my day wishing, just wishing, that I was with you. Did you have an ulterior motive during the months of flattery or with your utilization of those infamous words? Or are you truly just as foolish as I perceive you to be? I really do hope that you accomplished whatever goal you initially set out to achieve. I was blinded, maybe by the toxicity, maybe by the diseased roots we planted, or maybe by the codependency. I was completely and totally blinded. I looked to you like an ignorant child, begging for you to save me from the path, from the part of my mind that frightened me, a place I relied on for normalcy, a place I never took the time to understand, a place I now realize I constructed, I made the rules, I forged the locking key, a place I locked myself in. I was a blind child relying on you and only you for happiness. You showed me how I was supposed to feel every day. If you were happy, so was I. If you were sad, so was I. If you were missing, I was lost, as my world was you. Although I was blinded, I was still aware enough to realize the damage of the unrepairable gash you planted deep within my willingness to trust when you forgot everything you said over the course of a week, when you forgot about something that to you apparently meant less than nothing, but to me meant so much more, when you forgot what trust meant. You desecrated the blind, hopeful, and ever-loving trust with your false assumptions and seemingly never-ending surplus of miscommunications. So when you tested the waters again, when you stopped talking, every fiber in my being knew that it was time to destroy the blinders that hid the atrocities from my hazy mind. I was blinded, but now I can see. Maybe it wasn't love. Also, author's note, it was love. Precisely. Anyways, so this is the second one. And it doesn't have a name yet. Truths and lies are what make up a person. I don't care what anyone else may say otherwise, because sometimes for what you may feast your eyes could not be further from what one wishes to self-actualize. When I was a young girl, I wanted to be an artist, a singer, a YouTuber. I wanted to see my name in twinkling lights, my face on billboards, hear my voice over the radio. I wanted to be famous. I couldn't say what happened along the way, but eventually I yearned to take up as little space as one could possibly muster. I wanted to be invisible, to disappear, to teleport myself out of here. Maybe it started in my youth, when she said, most artists don't succeed. Or despite my voice being filled with glee, he still hit me because my tune was ugly. Or when I started to doubt myself more than surprise myself. Or when I fell and scraped both my knees. I remember those years, riding in the middle row of my mom's silver Sienna minivan, refusing to let myself sing along to the songs blaring on the radio, or dreaded nothing more than to be heard, to be seen, because what if they chose me? Do you remember the day we were parked outside Costco, our father sitting in the driver's seat? I had raced to sit shotgun, but I so foolishly forgot to lock the door. So you wrestled me, picked me up, and laid me down on the asphalt, because the older sibling always gets the seat. I should have known better than to tango with my senior. That point had already long been proved to me, when 1, 2, 3 doors opened and a cat went running and 3 voices enveloped the back porch with laughter as I broke down crying. Or that time you and I went driving and you brought up how much more bearable I had grown to be, all thanks to your 3 continuously ganging up on me. Now, you don't get the credit. Now, you don't get all the credit for banishing the childhood out from within me, or that we can thank nature and nurture in the cultivation of a socially acceptable mask as to what truly helped me. For I was once a carefree girl, now plagued with anxiety, for I was forced to grow up quickly, my childhood years ripped from me, a second mother to all those who come to know me, but what about me? Or I know what I would say to my childhood self if she was standing in front of me. Stand tall, sing loud, don't let anyone, including me, tell us what we can and cannot achieve. And I'd like to think that if she had the opportunity to say something back to me, she'd say, "You're becoming everything I've always wanted to be."